How are we going, everyone? I've had a lot of emails come in the last few days asking to see how our tomato plants are going, our little seedlings that we sowed. Now, this is the hothouse that I've built a while ago. If you haven't seen this before, it's a makeshift hothouse on wheels, and I need to move it around because where it is positioned now, it doesn't get the morning sun. And that's unfortunate because I need to get more morning sun, so I've got to wheel this out to the other side of this veggie garden bed so I can get more sun. But in the meantime, let's have a look at what's going on here. So we've got the 3 little heat mats here going on. I've got my tomatoes in here, gardenias and some cuttings there from olive trees. Down here's the giant heat mat. Don't mind that little tomato plant there. There's an old rotten tomato I'm going to collect some seeds from. But this is a giant heat mat, and I've got the first bed here. I've got all the different chilies. This is only about 3 days or 4 days old that I sowed these seeds. I think it's about that long. About 5 or 6 days earlier, I sowed here as well. And here I've only sowed the first 2 rows, believe it or not. I'm going to come back and sow some basil in here later on, a little bit early for that. So I've got some tomatoes and capsicum going on in here that I collected. But the tomatoes that you're all interested in are the big Malakas over here. Have a look at them here now. Now, every single one has germinated. I'll take it out so you can see it. Every single one has popped up, folks. We were talking about success. Actually, no, one. We're still waiting for one over there. So every single one's popped up. We've got a couple in here. There's a couple in there, couple in there. Now, when it comes to watering, they are leggy. Let me get into that first here. The question is, are they leggy? Well, this type of tomato always starts off very thin at the beginning. And if it doesn't get enough morning sun, any tomato plant will be a little bit leggy. But this by nature is more leggy than the other varieties. It can probably grow a bit more short and stunted if it had full sun and you were using garden soil and it was sitting outdoors getting colder air. So you can acclimatise these plants now. I've brought them on in here so I can get them to grow a lot quicker. Now, some people are having much more success outside as well, or not much more, but great success outside because of their microclimate. Everybody who's been following me here knows this place here is blowy plains, not golden plains, it's blowy plains because it's always cold and it gets down to -2 or 3 at night. So these plants need to be protected, and you can see how they're leaning towards the afternoon sun. So it's always good to rotate them around so that they start growing in all directions. Now, when it comes to watering, you can use your bottle top sprinkler. And it's important not to wet the plant, and it's not because you don't want to wet it, because this little sprinkler here can be a little bit aggressive. Even though it's tiny, see how it's soft by comparison to a watering can? Which is great, you can get around there beautifully like that. And that's what you want to do, hydrate the soil and keep it. And I've got liquid gold and EK Butch in here because they've grown. But what you can also do is use a little atomizer, and I've got some liquid gold in here, and just give them a light spray on top. Hydrate the leaves as well, just like that, because plants do draw down the nutrients that you give them through the foliage. Just as they take the sun rays in to turn it into sugars, they'll take this in to feed all the beautiful microbes that we build in there at the base with the EK Butch. So the microbes give them the nutrients they need to grow big, strong and healthy. So it's a big synergy going on in there. Stuff that we can't see by the naked eye. But I can tell you something, do it and practice naturally, folks, organically, sustainably, and your soil will give you the benefits it needs to give your plants so they can grow big, strong and healthy. So these are my big Malaka tomatoes. I don't think they're lanky. I think they're pretty good because I've had them this way like that many a times every time I've grown them. I am going to move this out to get more sunlight. So if you've got the same problem going on in your garden, not enough sunlight, move them around. That's the whole purpose of it. Don't keep them in the shade. Direct sun so they can get the rays to grow bigger and stronger and healthier. And as they grow taller, they'll start to thicken up. So, hothouse back on top. We've got it set about 24 degrees. You don't need it any more than that. If you've got it too high, once they've grown, it will cause them to stretch as well. So consider that. Turn the temperature down during the daytime when you've got sun shining on it. They won't need to have as much heat, but make sure you turn it back on at night and put the lid back on and close the air vents at night so that they are protected from the cold winter's night, and let them grow big, strong and healthy. Gardenias are doing well. Everything's doing really well. I'm really happy, folks. And if you're looking for a little atomizer, something new the team here has put online. I was going to say the family. Well, they are a big happy family, aren't they, folks? So they've got it online. There's 4 different colours you can get, and they're great for indoor plants. Get your liquid gold in there and spray your little indoor plants foliage so you can feed them through the leaves. They'll be big, strong and healthy. And check all this out at Vasili'sGarden.com. You can get it all there this weekend. Huge specials. It's Vic lockdown sale again, folks. Every time they lock us down, we have another sale. From me, Vasili, Maresi. Enjoy it.